Show everybody. All right. Oh, where's the big camera? The, oh yeah. Oh, I thought you were gonna do the aerial. That's right. I totally forgot. I was like, where's the? I mean. Oh, that's right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. We're already breaking from script. We're already breaking from script, but we're good. Oh my gosh. Sarah made the most amazing grits and eggs this morning. Unbelievable. Audio is low? All right. Okay, let me raise. Check 1, 2, testing. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. All right. Super excited. Our first, oh yeah, so Craig is setting up this other camera right now.
All right, so
Feel of what
let's see if this works. Okay.
What kind of environment we're in today. Oh.
All right, aloha everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are really giddy here that we don't get a chance to see Jake do his thing in such a kind of intimate setting. So this is gonna be a ton of fun. We will be showcasing the material on screen today, along with everything else. For those of you who purchased your packets for donations, thank you so very, very much. It's been a really hard year. It really, really has. And these things can go a long way. So thank you so much for your extremely kind donations. I hope you guys enjoy the stocking stuffer arrangement of Jake's trio arrangement of While My Guitar Gently Weeps as well. But just to give you a little showcase of kind of our home base today, I'm in the corner here. And we have set up there. We have Jake in the corner there. Someone on the couch. Rudolph Jr. And Sarah's manning questions and emails.
Yes.
And again, it is not too late to get your packet and help support this event. You can go to craigandsarah.com/presents and you can download your packet there. Sarah will be doing emails if any of you had issues printing, but you can send us an email at chimazel@gmail.com. But we've been so excited for this event, and we can't thank Herb and Jake enough for putting in the time to do something really fun and uplifting during these really uneasy times. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mr. Jake Shimabukuro.
And folks said that Jake was still a little soft, but you were loud.
Oh, I'm always loud.
Thank you, Craig. Hey, yeah, so I hope you guys can all hear me. This is our first official project or virtual stream together, and just super excited. As all of you know, Craig and Sarah have just been so influential, just real shakers and movers in the ukulele community. And their passion for the instrument has inspired, just thousands and thousands and thousands of people all over the world, So it's been, so it's such an honor to be able to work together and do this. Because Craig and we've known each other like from, how many years? Like way, way, way back. And then, of course, to have Herboto Jr., my senpai, he's... Like, yeah. Uncle Herb. No, but Herb was, he was one of my teachers, and I just have so much, so much respect and admiration for him. So. But yeah, so just really excited about today. We're going to be exploring Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, an old holiday classic, something that we sing every year. And we just thought we'd show you different ways to approach the song. Of course, just several ways. There's countless ways that you can approach it and do things to it, make it more complex, make it simplify it. So that's what we're going to be exploring today, and just some basic techniques and things like that. And if at any time, if you have any questions or anything you'd like to ask, just put it in the chat. And Sarah, she's so good about just monitoring all that, and she'll be tossing things our way. So thank you. But I thought maybe we'll start with a quick song and then go right into Rudolph. So let's get into the holiday spirit. I'm just stalling because we're doing a little sound check. Okay.
And I'm watching the stream.
Okay.
Yay, good. There's this beautiful stoling, Jake.
Thank you.
This is the nicest sound check I've ever heard.
Okay, that's our little ukulele holiday workshop sound check song. All right. Well, that was a song called "Oh Holy Night," where I kind of butchered the bridge there a little bit, but it's okay. Herb was laughing at me. But so So I'm glad we're not teaching that song today. We are teaching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But okay. So if you guys got your packets, you're gonna see that you have two different sets of sheet music. One is gonna be just a basic chord chart with the different chord names and just kind of just some little slash patterns on there, just to help keep time. And then you're also gonna see another set where it's going to be more like a lead sheet, where you're going to have the tabs, you're going to have the actual notation of the notes, and then you're going to have the chords on the top as well. Okay, so depending on what level you're at, you may want to just strum along by just looking at the chord chart, or if you want to also play the melody, you may want to look at the lead sheet and pick along to the melody. And if you're familiar enough, then you may want to even take it a little further, and we'll kind of show you some different voicings and some different ways that you can add a little bit more color, right, to your arrangement or to the way you play it. So let's start with the chords. So let's take it out. The first thing that I want to go over is
is, you know, when you're looking at the beginning, okay, and you know, I've seen Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer written out a lot of different ways. And to me, music notation, when you see it like this, you know, unless you're working with traditional classical music, you know, a lot of times it's it is like what do you call? It's a suggestion, right? Or it's a way of just kind of organizing the notes and the rhythm and all that stuff, right? So that you can just kind of get a good outline of what you're playing. Well, it's just kind of like a recipe, right? But it's up to you to take what's that information and make it into like a wonderful dish, like Sarah's grits and eggs and bacon this morning was just off the hook. So that's what we're gonna do. Oh, your bacon was good too, Herb. Sorry. Your Kalbi bacon. Okay. So. So anyways, let's start. So let's start with F, right? Our basic F chord. Now, if you don't have a low fourth string, I like to hold my F like this, without that top string, because it just adds a little bit more color. You know, you're adding the second note in the F major scale, which is the G, F, G. So it makes it like an F add 2 or an F add 9. Just gives it a little bit more color, you know, and I really like that. And it's a lot easier to hold too, right? So we're gonna hold that F chord. Okay. Now if you have the low fourth string, then you may want to add your middle finger up there so that you're not playing the low G. The voicing will be a little bit, you know, just what's the word? Yeah, oh man, this is gonna be really hard because I'm gonna be getting harassed the entire time I'm doing this. I'm already nervous. Okay, so anyways, so you may want to hold it in the with the traditional fingering there. Okay, but whatever sounds good to you too. So let's do that. Okay. So you know Dasher and E minor, right? Basic way to hold E minor is like this. Now another nice voicing for it is this way. This is an E minor 7, okay? Right? And then D minor, we're gonna hold it like this, or we can even let the top string go, especially if we have a high fourth string again, okay? And then C, of course, is like this. Right? But the nice thing about this C chord, the A note is in the melody, which is your open string. So a lot of times I may just play this, right? Da, da. So when you hear it, you know da 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 da. See how that really supports the melody, because now without me holding the C this way, holding it like this with the melody note in the chord, it really supports the melody, right? So, you know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, right? And we do the same thing, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. I hope I'm getting the names right because I don't have lyrics on the sheet.
So they asked what was your E minor alternative again?
Oh, okay, so a basic E minor 7 looks like this. So instead of doing this like that, right? Basically what I'm doing is I'm letting go of my middle finger. Craig, this is so cool. Like I can see my fingers. Like I don't have to look at my hands. I can just look at the screen and I can see what I'm doing. So E minor like this, right? And you're just gonna slide this back, see? Or you can just switch the finger there with your middle. So you have, or you can hold it this way, but it's basically just an open string, second fret, open string, second fret. So sometimes like, a lot of ukulele teachers will say something like 0202, which means open, second fret, open, second fret. So that's your E minor 7 chord there, right? Some of you may also hear this as a G6 chord, and it really is the same. It's just the order in which you emphasize the notes, right? So, okay, so good. So let's try that, right? Da 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 da. Okay, so we got that. Now A minor, simple like this, or you could just do an A minor 7 chord, which looks like this. Yeah, absolutely no, or I'm not holding anything, right? Just like that. Or you could hold your A minor in the traditional way. Then E7, then A minor, back to A minor. But sometimes I like to follow the melody. So the melody is here, right? Well, actually, it's not there. But that's right, it's not there. But I guess in my head, sometimes I like to hear a certain movement or a counter melody to support what is happening. See, I'm not a singer, so I don't know all the time what the singing melody is. But I hear this, right? So now I'm hearing this motion here. See? What do you recall? Oh no, but do you recall? Okay, now the most famous reindeer, what you can do is simply, when you're holding your A minor like this, with this third string down there, if you want to get to that D7, a nice way to just transition into the D7 or give that D7 feeling or sound, okay, is you're just going to drop your middle finger right there on the second fret of the second string, you know. So that gives it a nice smooth, see that? It's a nice smooth transition. I'm not going and then, you know, having to switch all my fingers and do something like this, but gives it a nice smooth transition there, okay? So for those of you that are more into the theory side of it, okay, you're gonna see that, yeah, I'm holding two open C notes. I mean, not open, but I'm holding a low C and a high C, which is, you know, the flatted 7th and a D dominant 7th chord there. And some people don't like this voicing, this particular voicing of the chord, you know. But a lot of times I feel like with the ukulele, a lot of those kind of traditional rules or sounds can be broken and accepted, and it doesn't bother my ear. And I don't know if it's because I've played this instrument most of my life, so I'm just used to hearing those sounds. So maybe someone who's not used to hearing the ukulele would hear that and be like, oh, that just doesn't sound right. So that I'm not sure, and I'll never know, right? And I won't ever be able to answer that. So, but for me, I think that sounds perfectly fine, okay? And then now when I'm gonna go to the G7 chord, I'm just gonna go straight to there, okay? So we got all the chords down. One thing I wanna point out is the reason I wrote it out this way, with the beginning being in 6/8, or in other words, 6/8 notes, right, to a measure, 6 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And then when it gets into the regular song, it's in 4/4. The reason for that is because we can have a common pulse. So if I'm hearing the 8th notes like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? So watch this now. This pulse does not change, but watch this. The most famous reindeer of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. So you see that pulse now that was serving as the 8th note pulse, right, in the earlier part, now becomes the quarter note pulse when we start the main part, well, not the main part of the song, but the part that everybody knows, right? So that way we can all be in sync. So if you're practicing to a metronome, you can just set your metronome here, da 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 da, and don't put any accents on the metronome. So you just have this, just very even, no accents, no favoritism to any of the beats, right? Just like that, okay? So when we play, try play it with me. I'll keep this going, and you just strum it with me, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, F and F, E minor and D minor and C, F, E minor, D minor and C, A minor, E7, A minor, and D7, G7, 1, 2, 3, 4, C, da 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 da. Okay, very good. So let's play that together, okay? Let's try.
I'm very excited about that. I thought that was really cool.
Oh, thank you. All right. Okay. Yeah, and you know, sometimes just having, I don't know if they're, you know, I used to always refer to them as what metric modulations, I think is what I used to, but I don't know if that technically is, but it might be, I don't know. But anyways, I'm just trying to just, you know, sometimes you hear these fancy words and you try to use them, but I'm probably using it out of context. But I swear I heard a drummer say that once. Oh, it's cool, metric modulation. I'm like, oh, that's a cool word. I gotta write that down or use that. Oh yeah, we're gonna throw in a metric modulation there somewhere. But I have no idea. It's probably all wrong, you know. Some of you are probably drummers. You're like, what is he talking about? So anyways, so let's try that, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Right? Da 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 da. G7, 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 G7. Da 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 da. Okay, so notice I'm strumming with my thumb right now, and the reason I'm using my thumb is because when I'm accompanying a singer, usually, I don't like to use the nail of my finger, because sometimes I feel like sometimes I feel it can be distracting to the singer. But it, you know, it depends in what context, right? Like if there's a drummer and they're playing a hi-hat and a snare, then sometimes I have to project a little bit more and I have to cut through, right? But if it's just me and a singer, or just me and a bass player, or the instrumentation is very sparse, then I want to try to be, while I'm accompanying, I want to just kind of be this bed of sound, right, to support harmonically what the singer is singing. So later on, you're going to hear Sarah sing this song, and you know, you'll kind of hear some of that versus singing, you know, versus me playing Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. You know, that can sometimes really cut into the melody and can be somewhat distracting, right? So that's why I'm using the side of my thumb. Oh, it's so okay. Okay. Yeah.
Like a graze almost, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just using the side of my thumb like that. Just sometimes I do this technique where I use the side of my thumb and I move it up and down like this, and it gives kind of like a very orchestral type of sound. You can move it up and down to get different colors. Yeah. So you could even probably do that in the beginning. You know, Dasher and Dancer, Prance. You know, it's probably quite soft. I'm not monitoring myself, so I can't really hear what you're hearing, but I think it should be close to what I think it sounds like. Okay, So that's a fun little technique, and I use that one a lot. Okay, so let's continue on, and then we're gonna hop right into the melody. So let's start from measure 10. Okay. Yes?
Sorry, could you, there's a comment, could you show the transition between 6/8 to 4/4 again?
Oh, sure. Okay, someone asked if I could show the transition going from 6/8 to 4/4. So that's basically measure 9, right? Coming out of measure 8 into measure 9. So basically this is going to be the pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So if you clap along with me, right? If I just think of this as the pulse, and I'm not giving any, any accent to any of the notes, right? This could be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It could be threes, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. It could be fours, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It could be 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or in this case, it's 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? So what we're doing basically, okay, is we're taking these groups of 6, and all we're gonna do is just repackage them into groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just like that. So now I just took these groups of 6 and then repackaged them into groups of 4. But the tempo does not change, and that's the key thing, right? This pulse does not change. So now when I'm going from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rudolph the red-nosed. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, so I kept the same pulse. I just grouped them into different size packages, right? I went from a 6-pack to a 4-pack, basically. And that's kind of the idea. So the reason that's important is because if I'm practicing with a metronome, I can set the metronome and I don't have to change it. Or if I'm playing with a group of people, we don't have to guess when that downbeat is going to be, right? Because we are all following the same pulse. So if we're tapping our tapping our foot, or to the beat, we are all on the same page all the time. So we're not guessing and looking at each other. Oh, are we coming in now? Or so you're not kind of doing what normally, right? What do you recall? The most famous reindeer of all, and everyone's like, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, right? So, right? Or someone has to kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, right? So that's. And it happens to everybody. It happens to us all the time. If there's a meter change, or if there's like a fermata, or like a part in the song where, okay, we hold and we look at each other and we kind of cue the beginning. It's hard to do. And it's not just. Bands that have been playing for years and years and years and years, they can do it because they can read each other and they've practiced together so much. But if you're just in a jam session with people, right, a lot of times you don't know how they're feeling it. And when they cue the down, you don't know when that second beat is going to be, right? You just know, okay, here we are, and right, you're guessing, and then you just kind of follow each other until, by measure 7, you're like on the same beats, right?
Everybody
So.
says that was wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah. So let's continue. Let's continue in about 15 minutes, we have a very special guest, right? That'll be popping on, I think. So, oh, was I supposed to? Oh, no. Oh, I thought you were texting me, but I guess that's just a calendar thing.
Oh, yeah, just, sorry. Can we not turn off
So,
my notifications?
so I have this.
It's not even his iPad.
I have an iPad here. I have an iPad here that Sarah's letting me use because I only brought I brought, you know, actual paper, right? So I have it on the floor. They're like, oh, here, just put it on this iPad and you can scroll up and down. So I'm getting these notifications and I just thought Craig or Sarah was texting me like, oh, can you announce this? But
No, it's attached to
no,
or
it's
whatever
not.
it is.
Recycle day, it's recycle day. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Now, one of the reasons we wanted to teach this song too is because, you know, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, like on the surface seems like a very simple song, right? It's like, oh, Rudolph, yeah, you know, it's a kid's song. We can all play it. Anybody can play it. Yeah, sure. Until you get to the bridge, right? And everybody, when you get to the bridge, if you notice, people always like, you know, they hesitate because they don't know, wait, oh yeah, oh, it's this part again. Like, oh, what are the chords? And then you play it, right? You play it and then you somehow fake it and you get through it, right? But then Christmas is over and you never like go back and study it. And you're like, one of these days I'm going to learn the right chords for that bridge. So that's why today, you know, we really wanted to take some time and study this bridge. So if you go to measure 25, actually the bridge starts at measure 26, but if you go to measure 25, okay? Now these are of course, there's suggestions again, you know, for the chords. They're not, these are not definite chords. You can approach this bridge, like the first half of the bridge, it could be, right? Then one foggy, go to C, Christmas Eve, G7, Santa came to, back to C. That's how I used to play it as a kid, right? And then as your ear develops a little bit, then you might change a little bit and say like, okay, maybe then one foggy C, D minor, Santa, G7 to say, right? And then as your ear gets a little bit better, you're like, okay, maybe then one foggy E minor, Christmas Eve, D minor, Santa came to say, like, oh, that's nice. And then as you gain more experience, play with different people, you're like, oh, okay, then one foggy Christmas Eve, right? Then D minor, Santa came to say. So now I threw an A7 in there. Okay, and let's take it even further. Then one B7, foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say. And even one more step further. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say. See that? So we went from taking those 3 bars and going from just making it a 3-chord thing to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to basically 7 chords. Okay, so we put all these other chords in between. So let's kind of dissect this now. Okay, if we look at measure 25, right? C7, going into the bridge, F. Then 1, see, if I stayed in F, everything would be fine. Then 1 foggy, right? Nothing wrong with that. Then 1 foggy. But now if I want to put in some of those other chords that we were playing earlier, then 1 foggy, right? Then to the E minor. Now, so originally when we simplified it, we were just playing C here, right? Christmas Eve, which sounds fine, right? Then 1 foggy Christmas Eve, all over C. Then 1 foggy Christmas Eve, okay? But let's watch this now. Then 1 foggy, now E minor, Christmas, A7 with the G, see? Christmas Eve, right? Now D minor, Santa came to, back to C. Okay, so there's a lot more color in there. There's a lot more movement, a lot more new tones or fresh pitches that we didn't hear earlier in the song. Like for example, when we hold that, the F sharp diminish, right? When we hold the F sharp diminish or the, oh actually, sorry, I was playing this is a half diminish actually that I was playing. But if you play a full diminish, it would sound like this. Then one foggy, right? Christmas Eve. So it just was, so what now I'm hearing an F sharp and an E flat, right? There. Right, when I play the B7 flat 9, it's basically the same, you know, the same voicing. So that's why earlier I was playing the F sharp half diminished where I have the E natural, right? Then E minor. Now when I play the A7, I'm introducing a new tone, and that's the C sharp, right? So that note there gives it kind of like a fresh, like sound to your brain. And sometimes you don't always like, you won't recognize it, but you'll feel it. You'll be like, oh, okay, the bridge feels different. You know, this part of the song feels different. I don't know why, but it kind of took me away, you know, from what we were hearing before. Just the da 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 da, right? So okay, now so let's move on. Okay, let's move on to measure 29. So we resolve to C, right? Oh yes.
I believe that they asked the G7 sharp 5, what fingerings do you use for G7 sharp 5?
Oh, okay, good. Oh, thank you. Thanks for pointing that out. I overlooked that. So the melody there is, right? Santa came to say. So if I just play a straight D minor and a straight G7 and into the C, okay, it's going to sound like this. Santa, okay, now straight G7 with the G note, came to C, say, right? Now with the G7 sharp 5, what that does is it gives a little bit of tension. So what it is when you're holding a G7 chord like this, okay? And if you were to spell it out, a G7 chord, the notes that make up the G7 chord is the G note, okay, which is right here, your open fourth string, a B note, which is on the first string here, that's your B note, a D note, which is your third string, okay, and the seventh, or what they call the flatted seventh, in a G major scale, is an F natural, because normally in a G major scale you have G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, G, okay? So what you're doing is you're taking that F sharp and you're flatting it. So F sharp, if you move it down a half step, it becomes an F natural, right? So that's why, see that? I'm holding an F natural here in octave lower. So that's why when I hold this G7, when I hold these four notes together, it gives me that G7 chord, okay? Now, when you see things like G7 sharp 5, or like you see these, you know, like a C major 7, or like a C minor 6, all those numbers correspond to a note in that scale. So for example, in the G7 scale, or in the G scale, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, okay, if you count G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, okay, you have those notes. Now, every number corresponds to a letter, right? It's almost like, when I was a kid, I used to think of it like, remember when you used to do those mystery books, and then they would have all these numbers, and then you would have to take the number and look for the letter that corresponded to that number, and then you would put it in, and every blank space you would put those in, right? And then you would get the clue, or you would get the answer to the question or something. So it's the same thing. So when I see G7 sharp 5, that means I'm going to take the 5, the 5th note, right, in that G scale, and I'm going to just raise it. I'm going to sharp it. I'm going to lift it up half a step. Okay? So now in G, if I go G, A, B, C, D, the 5th note is the D. So when I'm holding my G7 chord like this, right? Remember I told you the D note is that note right there. That's my D note. Okay? Now if I take that D note and I just raise it up a half step, push it up a half step, take all the D's that I'm holding and just raise it up. Now it becomes this. Okay? This can be a little hard to hold. So what I sometimes do is I drop the middle finger there and I bring the ring up. Okay? Same sound, just a different way of holding it. See? But this chord still supports this note, right? Santa came, see that? Came to say. So now I got Santa came to say, right? So now the first one, Santa came to say. Second one with the sharp 5, Santa came to say. There's a lot more color in there, right? A lot more. It just kind of pulls you to the next chord, right? It's like this, you know, a little bit more dissonance, a little bit more of that, like, ooh, that tension, right? So Santa came to say, right? Now the next part. So yeah, so thank you for reminding me about that sharp 5 there. Now 29, okay, so we're at measure 29, right? Santa came to say, okay, so measure 30, this is the Rudolph with your nose so bright. Now it was interesting because when Sarah, you know, Sarah has the real book, the real book with all the jazz standards in there, and I liked it because in measure 30, instead of the A minor, they had a was it a C? They had a C, like a C13. It was like a C7, you know, with the 13 in there as the melody. So it had a very bluesy sound, right? Rudolph with your, see that? Which is really cool. I love that sound, but I like that sound because I'm so used to hearing that sound, right? But if you were to play with a group of players who weren't playing that C7 and you went for that C7, it would just completely clash. So that's why I changed it to the A minor. Okay, and the reason for that is because if you play that A minor and somebody else plays the C7 chord, it's not going to clash. The A minor will support that C chord. But if you play the C dominant 7 chord and somebody else is not going there, it's gonna clash, right? So to me, the safer approach is to play the A minor, and it stays more diatonic, so it's a little bit easier for the ear to accept, right? So that's why now you have this sound, Rudolph with your, right? Rudolph with your. So that's the A minor sound. And I like to hold the A minor, it's more of an A minor 7 when I hold it open like this. Because my next chord is a B minor 7, where you just bar the second, right? Just like that. So listen, Rudolph with your nose so, E7 flat 9 bright. So same thing. Now E7, when you see a flat 9, you're like, what is the flat 9? So if you look at it like an E scale, and you go over 2 octaves, because remember, 1 octave you have those 8 steps before you get back to the E, right? So now the flat 9, okay, would be the 9th note in the scale, which is also the 2nd note in the scale, right? Just like if you counted, you know, if you thought of a C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, but then you went 2 octaves. So you went C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? So now you're just repeating the same notes, right, over a 2 octave scale. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. So D, after you go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, then the 9th is D, which is really the same as C, D. So 2 and 9 are the same note, right? So when you see something like that, like a flat 9, you can think of the 9th note in a 2 octave scale, or you can think of just the 2nd note in that scale. So in E, like in E scale or E major scale, the 2nd note is E, F sharp, because the 2nd note is always a whole step away from the root. So E to F sharp. So now if you take that F sharp and you flat that F sharp, you get an F natural, right? Which is why when we hold our E7 flat 9 chord, okay, this is a traditional voicing of the, like the usual voicing of an E9 chord, okay? And it's 1, 2, 2, 2. So I have the G sharp, I have the D, which is the flat 7th, the 3rd, I have the 5th here, and then I have the 9, which is the F sharp. Now if I take that 9, that F sharp here, okay, and if I slide that back to flat it, now I have the E7 flat 9, which looks like a diminished voicing there, okay? So that's why that is called an E7 flat 9 chord, okay? Just like that. All right, so when we play this, right, let's start with measure 30. Rudolph, with your nose so bright. Now A minor, won't you D7 guide? Or you can go back to that other D7 that we were doing before. Won't you guide my, okay? Then D minor, sleigh tonight, okay? Now, I want to point out something to you real quick. You know this G7, we don't have a G7 sharp 5 in the melody, right? In the chord. And the reason for that is because in the melody, if you look at the melody, if you can read the music notation, you'll notice the melody is a D, which is the 5th note in the G scale, like we did earlier. But because the melody is there, we need to play that D natural. We have to play that D natural. Otherwise, it's going to clash with the melody. And that's why, in this case, we wouldn't play the G7 sharp 5 over the singer's melody. Okay? But we might want to add something like a flat 9, like a G7 flat 9, right? So, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Oh, see? So I still have the melody in there, right? But I'm altering another note in the chord or in the extension, right? So that is a nice way to give more color, but without interfering with the singer. Okay. So these are just things that I learned as I started playing with different people, especially like piano players, right? I'd be playing something, piano players are the best at doing that, staying away from, just interfering with the melody. So I learned so much from listening to piano players yelling at me, what'd you play? So it's good, that's how you pick up little things here and there. And those were a couple things that I remember picking up is, always be aware of where the melody is, and whatever that note is in the melody, you don't mess with it. You leave it there. You can move everything else around it, right? Like if you have a C note here, you can harmonize that in so many different ways. See, melody is here, melody is still here, right? Melody is still here, right? Melody is still here, right? Melody is still here. So I'm not messing with the melody. I'm messing with all the other tones around it, but I'm making sure that that note can still be present and not clash with anything else that's happening, right? Because in you know, as you start harmonizing, you know, there are certain I don't want to say there are rules, because there really are no, you know, there's certain things I think in different genres of music that are characteristic of that music, you know, and if you kind of understand that and you know that, then you can stick with that and make it feel a little bit more authentic, I guess, right? But when you stray from it, then that's when it kind of pulls you out of that, which is fine too, you know, which is fine. So don't get me wrong, because I love, you know, I love really dissonant things too, and I love things that I don't even understand what I'm hearing, but I'm just like, wow, that's really cool. I don't know what's going on, but you know, but sometimes I like that, you know. So you know, so be open, right, to all these different things. In other words, okay, so let's continue on, because after that bridge, you're gonna see now from measure 34, we really start adding a lot more chords and a lot more movement over the same verse. Okay, because in the beginning we're playing Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. We just played C, G7, and C, just 2 chords, right, for the entire verse. But if you look at the second verse, we added one change in there, right? Same thing, but we added Rudolph the red-nosed, had a very shiny, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. Oh, all of the other reindeers, right? All of the other reindeers used to laugh and call. See, we threw in the C diminished chord, right? Used to laugh and call him names, right? Before the G7. So now we added another chord in there to help with that transition. Used to laugh and call him names, right? They never let poor Rudolph, okay? And then notice here, oh, sorry, from measure 22, notice we put in a D minor to a G7 and another D minor to a G7 and D minor, G7 to C. So we added a lot more chords. So now you're hearing all of the other reindeers used to laugh and call him names. D minor, they never. G7, D minor, G7, join in any reindeer games. Okay. So now we have more movement happening in the harmony. So it makes the song a lot more interesting, right? Okay. But again, there's nothing wrong with just playing C and G7. And if you're playing with a group of players and you're just doing the C and G7 thing, it's not going to be that bad. One of the things what I like to tell people is that if you get a little unsure of what you're playing, don't stop playing. Keep the rhythm going, but just brush the top, the top, like the 4th and 3rd string. So that way you keep the groove going, but you're not really interfering with the other chords, right? So if I'm playing and I'm a little unsure, I might be like, you know, da 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 da, oh, da 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 da. You see, I'm still going. I don't know really what the chords are there that I'm gonna play or what everybody's playing, but I'm helping by keeping the rhythm going, okay? And as long as you keep that hand going like this, even if you play softer, or even if you just were to mute the strings and just keep strumming, it just helps the feel and the flow, right? And then you still feel like you're in and you're with the music. You didn't fall off the wagon, right? You didn't fall off the train. You're still holding on and you're still participating and playing. And what that does is it helps with the momentum of everyone's groove. Okay, and that's the most important part. Because once a couple people start like losing their confidence and they're like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, and then you start getting in your own head about, oh, you know, then hey, it's gonna throw everybody off, right? But if you just take a step back and be like, okay, I'm the percussionist now. I'm not gonna worry about the chords. I'm just percussion, you know? And I'm still gonna participate. I'm still contributing to the energy of what we're playing. I'm still a part of it. We're still bringing the good vibes. We're still bringing people joy. You know, we're still doing this together. That, to me, speaks volumes. You know, and it translates so much more than just like, oh, I played the sharp 5 there, you know, or I did this, right? So don't worry about all that stuff, okay? Let's see. So let's go to measure 34 now. This part's kind of cool because now what we're doing is you're gonna hear the same verse, the same melody, but being supported by all these new chords, right? So you're gonna hear, right? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, so this is kind of still like the second verse, you would even say it glows. Okay, now notice on measure 39, I specifically put a D minor 7 in there. And the reason for that, because if you notice in verse 2, I just went D minor, G7, D minor, G7, D minor, G7. But when we got to verse 3, I went D minor, G7, D minor 7, G7, D minor, G7 to C. And the reason that D minor 7 for me is significant is not only so okay, the traditional, the usual voicing for D minor 7 on the ukulele looks like this, right? It's like a D minor and then you add the C note there. So sometimes you can hold it just with bending your middle finger down so you catch those two notes and then put the F there and then the C there, right? So you can do that, you can do this, see? It's the same. But the reason I like that, because the normal D minor looks like this, right? Without that. So the reason I like that voicing is because I have this line now moving from this, to this, to this, back down to this, and then here, to, okay? And you're gonna hear that, listen. Rudolph the... See that? So I have this motion, and what's nice about it too is that D minor 7, when I play that voicing there with that C there, it's a perfect harmony to what the melody is there, right? Because it's that. So when you play this note with this note together, it's really pretty, you know. Right? So Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, see that? You'll go down in history. All right. And you know what's really cool about this exercise to me is that by the time you get to the end of the song, those changes feel, you know, they don't just jump out of nowhere, because it's like you gradually got there, right? Because you started with just 2 chords in the first verse. Then the second verse, you played that same part, but now with 4 chords. By the time you get to the third verse after the bridge, you're playing tons of chords. You know, you're switching chords every 2 beats now. So let's try this together from the top, just strumming it, and then yeah, and then I want you guys to, like, I know some of you are very familiar with tab, so it'll be super easy for you to play the melody, which I think would be really cool. Some of us can be strumming and some of us can be playing the melody. So let's try it from let's just take it from measure 10, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rudolph, da do 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 do, da 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 da. G7, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. Get ready for the C diminishes. Da da da. There you go. D minor. Da 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 da. And D minor. G7. Join in any reindeer game. C7. Okay, here we go. F and F da da. B7. E minor. A7. D minor. G7 sharp 5 and C 2 3. G. A minor. B7. E7 flat 9. A minor. D7. D minor and G7. Okay, now. Oh, sorry. Let me scroll down. And here we go. 34. 1, 2, 3, 4. C and D minor. E minor. D minor. Do 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 do. Good. Da 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 da. D minor 7. You'll go down in history. Hey, yes. Okay. Very good. Let's add in the melody now. Okay.
Okay, before we do that.
Oh yes.
We'll take a really quick.
Okay.
Water break.
Take
I'm
a.
gonna invite Cynthia in to announce the winner.
Oh
Oh,
yes.
you didn't bring it.
Huh?
You didn't bring it, yeah.
Oh, I was supposed to bring it today. Shucks.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh.
It's okay. There isn't a
So you just gotta give away that uke then, I guess.
We.
You know? No, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. So,
I have it though. I promise.
Yeah.
okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna switch cameras for a second. Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna.
How's it going,
do
Herb?
this. We're gonna take a really quick break so Jake can drink some water. I'm gonna mute his. Let's see. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. So, and Jake is muted, so we don't hear him drinking water. And let's see.
Somebody said it's hard to hear Jake. Yes.
Oh, it would help if I texted her the link. All right, let's see if this works. It'll be the first time using this particular thing. And again, I hope you guys are having a fantastic time. I was lucky enough back in like 2001, 2000 maybe, that Jake was teaching at his studio in Hawaii Kai. And I was lucky enough to take some lessons before he stopped teaching there. So it was like the first time I was able to utilize just these different beautiful voicings and whatnot. I grew up playing cello, and classical music was so different because you pretty much just following the dots, what they told you. You didn't really have a lot of wiggle room to improvise or to kind of add your own. You're not supposed to add your own flair. It's like you just follow what the music says. So that was the first time I felt so creative utilizing all of these things.
Craig was a child prodigy.
No. I wish it was. I do remember that one. My favorite story from taking those group lessons at first was, Jake came in one day. He's like, "Oh, what do you guys want to learn today?" And one of the guys stared at him and he says, "Oh, teach me a song that I can use to pick up chicks at the bus stop." And Jake was like, "Okay."
I'm still trying to learn that song. I'm still trying to figure out what song
Which
that.
song was that?
Oh my gosh!
What
but
secret that is.
Now let's
What's
see.
the secret?
Is Cynthia on?
Is that how you met Jake? Shake a song for
Yes.
Let's see.
Play the song. Yeah.
Great. That's how her met his.
It was
Oh,
at Macy's restrooms.
Oh my gosh, Cocoa Puff. Okay, let's see. Add to the. Let me do this. Sorry, this is some new software we're using, but it's fun.
Well, this is a new software.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Hi, Cynthia. Hi. So first off, thank you so much for including Sarah and I in your Oh, you can't hear it?
Okay.
Can you hear us? No.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, Cynthia.
Okay. For some reason I'm not hearing the call right now, Craig. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
I can hear myself only coming through the interview. I mean, on the other side. So let me see.
Oh.
People hear her now.
Yeah, because they're hearing her.
Let me see. What if I do
Let me
this?
see.
Check 111. All right. I'll be turn off. I'm gonna have to mute this. Okay, if I mute this, I can hear. Oh man. I can hear myself. Wait, you say something.
Hi. Oh, I should have I should. Cynthia.
I
Oh,
hear you
no.
on delay, unfortunately, but that's okay. We can still
Oh, I
do the
heard that echo
giveaway.
cancellation, though. Okay.
Should I turn off my delay now?
Oh no.
Somebody said she's okay now.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. Hi, everyone. All right. Aloha, everyone. All right. Cynthia, say goal. Goal. Okay, good. I'm glad you can all hear me. I am so excited to do the giveaway for the Shima Uke. Big shout out to Jake and Bruce Shimabukuro for donating the Shima Uke. Let me say hi to everybody in the room. Hi, Craig. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Jake. Hi, Herb. We did a holiday aloha concert last weekend over at Craig and Sarah's, and it was awesome. And in that video, we shared this surprise giveaway. So yes, everyone's like, pick me. Okay, I have the selection here that I can share with you all. I don't know if it'll come through, but here we go. I did it on my phone and with a very classy, free comment picker. I'll show you. All right, here we go. We're looking. Can you see it? The winner is Kimberly Brush. Congratulations, Kimberly! Everybody make lots of noise in the comments. Yay, Kimberly!
Yay!
Kimberly's
Congratulations!
Kimberly's comment was that I'd like to become more proficient with playing and writing out my own chord melodies. So
Nice.
shout out for today's lesson. This is such a cool lesson. Thank you, Jake, for taking Rudolph to like a super jazzy level. I'm so into it. and yeah, like me, you should see in the comments, everybody wants you to sing. So I'm all for it. It's your next career, I think. All right. Aloha, everyone.
Cynthia,
Congratulations.
thank you so
Kimberly.
much. I know you probably can't hear us, but thank you for all that you do. Thank you and Lenny for having us last week. It's so great to see you. I'm glad you changed your title here to Cocoa Puff.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. But thank you very much, and we'll definitely see you soon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Happy holiday.
Everyone.
Bye, Cynthia.
Bye, everyone.
Hey, that was awesome.
Yay.
She's great.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Awesome.
Yay!
Now
Thanks, Cynthia.
Okay, so congratulations again to the winner. I missed the name.
Kimberly.
Fantastic. That's gonna be fun. Are you giving away your hat today too?
My Santa hat. Actually, it's my son's hat. I'm borrowing it from him. It really is Chase's hat.
Oh my gosh. All right, so thank you for that quick little yeah. But everyone is having a blast. Yeah, you're doing. Again, I always, again, one of the things we're so excited about today is that a lot of people don't get the chance to see you teach, and you're such a great teacher, and it's just really nice to really, you know, have that breakdown of just what's going on in your head and the reasons you choose certain things. It's just fantastic. So thank you so much. Keep it up. You're doing great.
Oh, thanks, Greg. Thank you. Congratulations, Kimberly. All right. So I'm gonna have my brother. He's gonna send that ukulele to you, and yeah, my brother Bruce and Cynthia. Great to see you. Thank you so much for all your support. Thanks for all that you do for the ukulele community. You know, it's really such a blessing. I mean, you and Craig and Sarah and Herbota Jr. You know, it's like it's really awesome to be part of all this. So thank you.
Close up on Herb real quick, just to
Oh yeah.
make sure he's breathing.
Close up on her, please. Close up on her. Can I? Oh man, that commercial that you guys made for this was.
It was all Craig's idea.
If you haven't seen the commercial, you gotta go see the commercial and stay for the outtakes because it's way better than what I'm doing right now. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Oh my goodness. Oh, I just, dude. Okay, sorry. Let's see. Let's pick up where we left off here.
Lenny wrote, Herb is the silent Bob of
Oh, is that Lenny? Oh, dude, awesome, man. Oh, this is so cool. Okay. Let's see, where were we now? Oh yeah, we were gonna add in the melody. If you guys have any questions at any time, you know, please, because Sarah is just jamming over there on the key on the keys. It's like wow. Okay. So let's just quickly go through this because the tabs are there. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory if you read tab. And I can show you some other tricks, but yeah, let's just, you know, go through it. So yeah, the done. One quick thing that I wanted to show you real quick. You know, when you're looking at something like this, right? It's basically a lot of it is these patterns, right? So if you look at these groups, right, from the measure where F starts, right? You have they're all grouped in threes, right? You have C A F, B G E, right? A F D, A G. So you can when you see these patterns like this, you know, you can designate the first note to the first string. So C is here. Second note is here, A. Third note is here, F. So when I play this, right? See? And now when I go to the next three, I'm going to play the B, G, E. And then when I go to D minor, I'm going to play the open, right? And then I can just play this. Or A, G, okay? So that's not how it's written. It's written like this, right? Which is fine too. It's the same thing, okay? But if you just wanted to try something a little different, you could play, right? Just like that, okay? So you can do it that way, or you can just play it as it's written. So let's try it, okay, together. So remember, 6, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, nice and slow, okay? So here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oh, sorry, I told you. Let's do it one more time. My fault, everyone. Let's do it again. One for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da da. Good. Da 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 da. Good. And let's try the different way. da, da, da. Okay, and da, 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 mm, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do da 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 da. You play. Da 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 da. Good and good. Da 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 da. Keep going. Da 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 da. Mm, mm, mm. Da 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 da. 2, 3, 4. Da 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 da. Okay, here we go. And then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came. Okay, here we go. Ding da 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 da. Dun 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 da da da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. And D minor, G7, D minor 7, G7, da 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 da. Very good. Okay. So again, so for those of you, if you're not real comfortable with the picking, you can strum along. For those of you that don't want to strum along, you can play the melody there. Now, one quick thing I wanted to go into real fast is okay, so now we separated the chords from the melody, right? But now it's like, how do we put it together, right? And that's always a thing. That becomes more of an arrangement, idea. Like, I always love Herb's arrangements, of his songs. He always comes up with really beautiful ways of carrying a melody, with the chord movements behind it, and really, what is that? So, but he's so good at coming. He's not good at taking compliments, but he's very good at coming up with great arrangements and uke parts. So, so it's kind of that same idea, where you're playing the melody, right? And you're holding the chord, but like what we were doing earlier, really. Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
What you do? Okay. So what you're doing is you're holding the chord while you're playing the melody. So, like, for example, when I'm looking at this first part, right? I'm playing open, 2. I'm looking at the tab right now, right? So you're playing A, B. Now you're going to hold the F chord. Okay, you're going to hold the F chord, but you're going to make sure that you put one finger on that melody note, which is here, right? But I'm going to hold the chord and do it and play the whole chord to that melody note. And then I'm going to pick that next note and then the next note again. So now it sounds like this. See? Okay. Now I do the same thing. I'm going to hold E minor, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to play that second fret there. Okay? I'm already holding the 3rd, and then I can let that go for the E, or I could play the E here because I'm already holding it. So this note and this open string is the same note. So I can do this, or I can do this. Okay, just like that. See that? Then I go to D minor, same thing. Okay, then C with the open, G. Yeah. And that's the basic idea, when you're trying to come up with an arrangement where you're playing the melody, but you're also playing the chords to support it. And this approach, was something that I learned from Roy Sukuma when I was taking lessons from him, many years ago. And my biggest influence in in playing the ukulele was, of course, Herb's dad, you know, the great Ota-san. I mean, I listened to all his records. I mean, I just wanted to be like him, you know. I mean, everything he played was just, I mean, he really played that instrument. He played it with the precision of a classical player, like a classical musician, you know, but he also had the sensibility and the feel of like a great jazz musician, you know. So I've always loved. Hey, Cameron, what's up, Cameron? So, you know, so he had this, you know, he had both, and he did both so well, and I just always loved that. And because he was so disciplined in that sense, but also had that the freedom, you know, he could read, he could play, his ear was just impeccable. You know, he could do everything. He could play all kinds of music, and his sense of rhythm, his sense of time was just unbelievable, you know. So he's always been such a huge inspiration. So so you know, anyways, sorry, I get carried away when I talk about, you know, Ota-san. But Ota-san was Roy's teacher, Roy Sukuma's teacher, and so I think a lot of, you know, a lot of those ideas and that approach, you know, is really ingrained in me, because I listened to Ota-san play that way so much, in the way that he did it, but then also having that training and having it explained to me, you know, by Roy Sukuma, you know, really, I don't know, I just developed a great appreciation, you know, for melody, right? So, and because it's to me, like, melody is just so important, you know, and it's something I always gravitate toward whenever I listen to music. So let's try this. Let's just try this intro again. I'm gonna show you different ways that you can approach it. So, right, E minor, D minor, same thing. Yeah. Notice I went to the E minor 7 there. A minor, E7, A minor, okay, G7, okay. Now notice I did an upstroke there because the melody note is this G, and it's right up there, okay, upstroke. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to strum 4 times, right, in tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to play. Good, and do 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 do. Okay, now I want to show you something real quick. There's, for me, whenever I'm playing in certain keys, or there are certain times in a song, I have these little go-to licks or these go-to patterns that I like when I'm trying to fill in space. And sometimes they're not always, it's almost more of a, I don't want to say habit, but it's more of a reflex sometimes, right? So like when I see something like this, like in measure 17, and I see that whole note there, and I see a whole measure of C with no melody going on, you know, I kind of want to fill that and do something. You know, you don't always have to fill it, but one of the things that I like to do, and I find myself doing this a lot, is if you whatever major chord you're on, if you start with the third note in the scale for the key of C, C, D, E. If you take that E note and you chromatically walk up you walk up 1, 2, 3, you get this sound 1, right? Very common sound. Or see that? Okay. So I might hear something like this. You know, da da. But all I'm doing is harmonizing that note, that melody with this. So when I put it together, it becomes, see that? So I like throwing in little things like that, right? Or, so for example, if we're in G, over the G7, and we think of the third in G, which is G, A, B, we start on the B, and we can just go up. So when I play G7, when I play C, see that? It's just a very common chromatic run, you know, that just works nicely over, because basically all you're doing is you're going from the third, the E, and you're working way up to the fifth of the chord, right? So it starts in a very safe place in the chord, and it ends in a very safe place in the chord, right? 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 You can even go backwards. Right? So those kinds of things are so useful, right? When you're playing songs, when you're accompanying someone, and you just need to fill something in there, just give it a little bit more color, right? So now I'm gonna play this, right? Okay, you see that? Or I can go, I can change it up like that, or I could do, right? I could go up and then go down. Right? So I'm adding a lot more color. I'm adding some different rhythmic ideas, and just makes it more interesting, right? It kind of fills the space, and it kind of gets away from the melody for a little bit, but gives your ear something to latch onto, rather than just okay. So those are some nice, I don't know, just nice little things that you can throw in there into your arrangements. Okay, I want to go over the bridge real quick, and then after that, you know, let's open it up to questions, if anybody has any questions or comments, okay? So the bridge is going to be a little trickier because we got a lot more chords and some different, some more complicated voicings here. So when we play 25, measure 25, right? C7. Okay, let's hold F. Okay. Now when we play that F sharp diminish and B7 flat 9, the voicing is exactly the same. So you don't really have to do anything. Okay, it's going to be exactly the same. So you're going to play then one foggy. See that? Foggy. I'm playing the C on the bottom, and because I'm already holding B7 flat 9, the melody note is on the top. See? Then one foggy. See that? Now one thing that I want to show you guys, if you want to take that a little further to give it just slightly more color, that F sharp diminish, you can change it into an F sharp half diminish, or sometimes they call it an F sharp minor 7 flat 5, or you take a F sharp minor 7 chord, you take the 5th note in the F sharp scale and you flat that 5th note there, okay? So that's another thing that you can do there, okay? So basically what is, if I'm taking an F sharp 7, F sharp minor 7, which looks like this, and I take the C sharp, because F sharp, if you take right the F sharp, G, A, B, the C sharp is the 5th, so you take that and you take that C sharp, you flat it, C sharp becomes a C natural. So I'm taking that C sharp note here and flatting it, see? But I'm going to reposition how I hold it so it's simpler for me like this. Okay, so whenever you see minor 7 flat 5, like an A minor 7 flat 5 or a D minor 7 flat 5, it's the same thing as a half diminish. So the symbol for a half diminish is you're going to see a circle with a diagonal slash through it. Okay, so that's another way of writing that minor 7 flat 5 thing. symbol there. So half diminish, okay? So F sharp half diminish. This is nice because you're playing then one foggy. Now when you go to foggy on gi, you're gonna slide this down because now you're in the B7 flat 9 voicing, okay? And the melody note is on the top. See that? Foggy. So what's nice about doing the F sharp half diminish into the B7 flat 9 is you have movement now, versus when you're doing the F sharp diminish and the B7 flat 9, you're not really there's no real movement with your chord, just movement in the bass line. Okay, so which is a cool sound too. All right, so let's try that. Then one, let's do it with the let's do it as written first. Then one foggy. Okay, now let's do it the other way, the alternate way. Then one foggy. Okay, foggy. Good. Now E minor. I'm just gonna, this is another way to hold E minor, right? Is like this. You can hold it like this, which is fine. Okay. So why don't we just do it this way for now? So when we hold it here, the melody note is on the second string. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the top and I'm going to chord down to the second string. Okay. That's what Roy Sakumi used to call this technique, chording. When you hold the chord and you just stroke down to the melody note. Then play the open string. Now the G, we're going to use this open G here. We're going to hold the G7 sharp 5. Remember G7. Go up sharp 5. And then we're going to strum up. Okay, then pluck. And then we're going to hold C and just chord down to the second string. Okay, so we got this. Listen to this. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say. Okay. For those of you that are a little bit more familiar with the chords, you may want to switch that E minor and A7 to something like this. This is what I'd probably do. Then you could do this. Okay, or you could make the A7 a flat 9. That's another nice movement there. And you could do the same thing. Remember that. Throw that in there again because we got space for it. Now, Rudolph with your B minor 7, E7 flat 9, A minor with the third, because that's the melody. Won't you? Now you're going to hold the D7, but look at the melody is a second, right? If you look at the tab, if you look at the note, it's a B note. So it's going to look like this now. Right? Guide my. Then you're going to hold D minor, but you're going to add the G note, right, which is the third if you look at the tab. Okay, and chord down to the G. Then you're going to play, right, 1, 2, and strum the G7. All right. Okay, very good. So, you know, I know you're going to have these videos are all recorded, so you're going to have it. You can go back and pause it, and you know, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But just one more thing I want to cover, because I don't know if we spent time on it, but on measure 36, right, that E minor 7, right, to E flat diminish to D minor 6. Okay, if you look at, so D minor looks like this, right? When we see, a lot of times we see D minor 7, which is we're taking the 7th note in the minor scale, right? So, which is basically like going 1 back from D, so it's C. We've got D, E, F, G, A, B, right? Or D, E, F, G, A, B, C. okay, and then D is the 8th. So 7. So that's why when you hold D minor 7, you're holding a D minor and adding the C note, the C natural note. Now when you're adding a 6th, okay, a 6th, you're actually taking the 6th note in the D major scale, which is a D, E, F, G, A, B. Okay, B is the 6th. So what you have to do is you have to slide that C down to a B, and that's why it looks like that, and that's your D minor 6 chord. Okay. And then to the G7. Okay, so the reason we're holding a D minor 6 instead of a D minor 7 is because, just for our ear's sake, because the melody is that B, if we were to hold a D minor 7, that C would kind of clash with the B, because you'd hear the B and the C at the same time, which I personally like that sound sometimes. You know, I like to hear those kinds of sounds. You know, I think it adds a lot of beauty. But if you're supporting a vocalist, and if you were to play won't you guide my oh sorry, no, wrong place. Oh, da 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 da, with glee, glee. See how the glee and that note glee. So, but if I change that glee, glee before the G7, now it's like, oh wow, okay, yeah, now it really resonates with the voice, right? So, da 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 da, da glee. Or I could go straight to the G7 too if I wanted to. I mean, there's so many different things you could do. Or just not play the 6th or the 7th. You could just play a straight D minor. And that's one of the things that I find sometimes when I'm accompanying a singer, is I just want to keep the chords real straight. Because if I play a straight D minor, I'm not going to clash with the melody either, right? Do 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 do. See, glee. See, that won't clash with this glee, right? It doesn't clash with that note. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So but I know that we want to jam this song for you. I know we may have some questions. So at this,
first second, let people know you're gonna be silent for just a second.
okay, I'm gonna be silent for just a second.
Let me see.
Yeah, Jake, you should be able to talk to him.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay,
One-
so some of the questions.
One person's question was, when you're playing with your thumb and you're doing upstroke, do you have up and downstroke? What is the best movement? How long is your nail? She has trouble getting a good tone out of
Oh
that stuff.
yeah. You know, gosh, tone is that's always a tricky one. So the nails on my right hand are pretty short. Um, actually, you probably can't really see that too, but yeah. So they're pretty short. The long the one on the thumb is a little long. Right now it's a little longer than normal. Wait, how do I? Okay. Oh no. I have to,
Go to your right there.
there we go.
Squish it toward me, all the way toward me,
Like that.
and then center.
Okay.
There.
Oh wow, that's cool. So yeah, so you see my thumbnail, it is a little long. This is actually longer than I usually have it. And then my other nails are very short. See that? So, but one of the most important things for me is filing the nail, right? So when you I use this. I mean, these things are great. It's It's made by Revlon, and it's basically a nail buffer. So what you do is, you have a very coarse side here, and then you have you know a finer side. But then on the sides, you have I guess they call these buffers. So they're very mild. It's very mild, like sandpaper, yeah. And when you're shaping and filing your nails, the idea is not just to it's you're not just shaping them for length. I mean, it's not just for shape and for length, but the idea is you want to bevel the nail. So as you're trying to round off the nail like this, like a pick, right? So it's there's no edges. It's just nice and smooth and round at the top. That's the idea. And then you also want to smooth you want to make sure that the top of your nail is very smooth and there aren't a lot of ridges, because if there's a lot of ridges, you're going to hear that whenever your nail makes contact with the string, whether it's an upstroke and for your downstroke, you want to make sure that inside the nail. So I'm not just filing the edge, but I'm also filing under the nail to make sure that it's smooth. So any part of the nail that makes contact with the string, I want to make that as smooth as possible. And that's very important, because that is the key to well, one of the keys to getting a very nice sound on your instrument. So I would suggest, doing something like that. If you already do that and you're still getting a tone that you like, try a different shape. And when I say a different shape, I mean sometimes. So what I like to do is, if this is the part of my nail here where I make most contact with the strings, right? I don't want this part to be long. So actually this part is a little bit too long for me right now. So as I was playing, sometimes I can feel it. I can feel my nail having more resistance on the string, which I don't like, right? So like if I were doing a concert or something, I would keep this part a little shorter, but then I would go shorter here, and then I would taper back around this side. But this side, I would make sure that I have enough meat on the string, and you want to find a good balance where you can get the fleshy skin against the string and just add a little bit of that nail. But then you also want to have the option of adding all nail, using all nail and no flesh, and then the option of having no nail and all flesh, right? So I should be able to do that with every string, with every finger, So all nail, flesh and nail, and then all flesh, just like that. So same thing with the thumb, all flesh, flesh and nail, and all nail. Right? So that way I can get a lot of different color and timbre, out of the each string and each note. So same thing when you're strumming too. I make sure that the top of my nails of my strumming hand don't have any ridges, because when I hit the strings, I want it to just glide over the strings. So it's nice and clean. I don't hear any scratchiness. So I make sure that all my nails are very smooth. They have to be very smooth, so they just slide over the string. And even the top, if you notice, I don't have those ridges, because I smooth them down. you know so um, so they just slide nicely over the strings. Yeah. So, okay, thank you. Yeah, any other questions or?
Sound Revlon's gonna see a boost in sales.
There was one person who just says, can you make a quick mention of pages 3 and 4? But I'm not sure.
Oh, pages.
3 and 4.
Pages. Oh, I guess that must just be the chord chart, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you can, I accidentally put the tab stuff as like the main thing at first. But it's okay. But yeah, that's why people are like, how do you hold that chord? And I totally put on like the chord.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I see, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah. So the chord, yeah, pages 3 and 4 is just basically if you don't want to, if you're not worried about playing the melody or plucking the actual melody in the song and you just want to strum and sing, then page 3 and 4 is that's basically what it is. So the tabs under page 3 and 4 will show you how to hold the chord, right? So for example, you're going to see 2 0 1 0, which is second fret open, first fret open. So you're going to play the F like that. 1 2 3, then E minor, 2 3 4 0 open, da da da, then D minor, right? 2 2 1 0, da da. Then C is open 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 3. See, I'm starting from the bottom and going up, yeah. So just like that. So it's just giving you the the proper ways to hold the chords. Yeah, and but it should be all the same. The only thing that's a little different is on this one, on the strumming one, um, you're gonna see in measure 26, I actually do have the F sharp half diminish written in there, going to the B7 flat 9.
Do you want to show that one more time? Or no?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Or did you want to show that real quick?
Oh, yeah, yeah. But if you look at it, you know, it should be all correct because Herbota Jr. doesn't make mistakes when he does this stuff. So 2 4, right? 2 2 3. No. There's no mistake. That's why I said when you do it. So okay. So full disclosure, I gotta tell you. So when I first sent when I first sent Herb my original writing and stuff on my chart. Yeah, he called me. He goes, "Hey, you sure this is supposed to be, I forget what it was, but that guy never misses anything. He catches it all." So, but he's a great musician. Exactly, right? What we're talking about. So, but yeah, so I just feel so grateful, working with this team because I've been really learning a lot, and it's been an awesome experience. So, yeah. Does anybody have questions? It's good.
So one of the things we're going to do now, I'm going to give the crew just a few minutes to kind of plug things in. So, one of the things I requested of Jake was to kind of play the arrangement once, play it with a singer. So Sarah's going to sing with him, and just to see how things change, right? If you whenever you add another element to the group, things will have to shift or change a little bit because you're adding more to the conversation, and you can't still be talking in the same way you would as if you're giving a speech, right? So same exact thing. So I want to showcase that, and then we're gonna put them in a group setting. And actually, let's actually maybe just do that. Let's do 2 Ukes and Sarah, and then we'll have Jake do a version where he can just go off and showcase what he can really do.
And play all the wrong chords.
Some people were asking, how can we donate more to Jake? Again, all the proceeds today are going to Jake. The best way right now to donate to Jake is buy more packets from the website. CraigandSarah.com/presents. Buy the packets. It goes all to Jake. I did want to give a huge shout out, and a huge thank you to all of those of you. Oh. So, microphone should be on now, huh? Who says I'm good at this kind of stuff? Horrible. I just want to say a huge thank you to those of you who did pay it forward for other people for the packets as well. It means so much to us that the community is helping each other and So right now, if you wanted to donate more to Jake, right now the best way to do it is go to our website, craigandsarah.com/presents. Buy more packets for today's workshop. That goes all to Jake. If you want to donate more to the events that we host, I'm going to put that up in just a second. But this goes to help bring other guests and other kind of events throughout the year. Oh, that's not it.
Should we put in that one?
Yep. Let's see.
Make sure we're not gonna make a loud pow.
Let's see. Can almost do this. Downloads.
Ooh, I see.
I don't see
I
that.
see it for her.
Copy of. Huh. Let's try that. There we go. So right now, that's our kind of donation link. So for those of you who want to donate to see more events like this down the road, please do so. And again, if you want to help support Jake, please buy some more packets at our website. But I can't thank you guys enough for your support throughout this horrific year. And we want to say thank you and make sure you guys stay safe and inspired. All right, let's see. I want to get rid of this. I want to get rid of that. All right, now let me see. I'm going to turn this back to camera one.
I'll sleep on my packet and the music sings it.
Osmosis.
And what I'm going to do.
Will my mic still be on?
Yes, your mic is still
okay.
on.
Also, if you want to sing to it,
Yeah, you can sing.
Oh yeah, it's
How
good.
many-
And what I'm going to do some
Can I do Santa's
trickery.
voice?
You can do whatever you want.
It's your workshop.
Rudolph with your nose so bright.
All right, so.
Herb, can you do the like a light bulb?
I could do that part.
Like Monopoly. What do kids say now? It's like Fortnite.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Alright, let's see if this works. I'm gonna try and get this
Yeah, while Craig's setting up, I just want to say to everyone, just happy holidays to everyone. Thank you so much for your support. Thanks for all your support, for the ukulele community, and oh yeah, and there's a lot of things going on. I know Herb just released his new record, so Ukulele Life. You gotta check it out. We did a I got to do a song with him on it, and actually he did a live like a concert, CD release concert virtual. So I got to play on it with him and John Yamasato, Will Tofolo, and it was a lot of fun. So check it out. And yeah, and if you guys aren't busy tomorrow, I am actually doing a virtual Christmas concert. So that should be fun. But yeah, we have a lot of special guests. Actually, Herb will be doing something. I did a Halloween one, and Craig and Sarah did a little really cute message with Cameron. And so we got a lot of great guests on there. Thunderstorm Artis is going to be on there. Kenny Loggins, Michael McDonald, Pomai Kai Lyman, Dave Preston, and Rachel A. Dave Preston and I play in a trio together. So yeah, you got to see their video. Is so hilarious. But like Craig said, it's been an interesting year, and we just hope that a lot of what Craig and Sarah do, I think the most important thing is we just hope that it brings you some joy, brings you some peace and comfort during this
guy
time.
has a problem promoting himself. Okay, so you go to jakeshimabukuro.com. He has his latest album is Trio, and it was did it hit #1 in the Billboard?
Yeah, it
Jazz,
did.
right?
Mm-hmm, yeah, contemporary jazz. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
So, if you guys tip more, he would sing.
Oh you can tell, we have a lot of fun doing this. I want to say happy birthday to Kama Hopkins. Yeah, Kama. We're still live, right? Yeah. Are we still live? Okay, okay.
Welcome to the live.
This is
Yes. Of course. You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Donner and Cupid and Comet and Blitzen. I'm probably messing up all of their names, but that's okay. I got them all in there. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of them all? Okay.
Are we gonna do the just the F sharp diminish, or you want to do the half diminish? Just the diminish, yeah, because that's what's on the lead sheet. Just do the diminish, yeah. Okay. All right.
You play what chord you want.
Yeah, you play whatever you want to play.
So no, so everyone at home, you know, just yeah, play along, follow along, right? So, okay, let's try it. Ready?
Mhm.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Or should we? Maybe we could do it more rubato, like how we
Sure.
would normally do it.
Sure.
Yeah. So we're gonna get away from the 6/8/4/4 thing, and just because normally when you play this, right, you probably do it more rubato, unless it was turn out. So let's try.
Okay. You know Dasher and Dancer and Comet and Cupid, Donner and Cupid. I did the wrong reindeer. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? 1, 2, 3, 4. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
All right, take it, Herb.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose,
Like a light bulb.
and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer,
you'll go down in history. Oh yes, so you'll go down in history. One more time. You'll go down in history.
Good job, Cameron.
Awesome. Yeah, Cameron, that was awesome, yeah. Your mommy's so awesome. She's so awesome. So, yeah, so that's just, you know, to give you an idea of like how to you know, play in a group. And because, you know, that was just us just trying to follow Sarah. And, you know, but Sarah's so good at just listening. And, you know, you couldn't, I don't think you could see, but in the middle of all of that, she was like grabbing Cameron and making him stop crying. And so it's truly amazing. But anyways, yeah, so, you know, we really hope that today's workshop kind of gave you some insight on the song Rudolph, and hopefully kind of helped you to shed some light, you know, on maybe some missing chords or some things in there that you always felt like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing this right. But also the idea was to show you that how you can always simplify, you can always prune, right, rather than adding as well. And it's still, you know, acceptable, you know. So yeah.
Can you take us out with a crazy version?
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do now is, I don't know about a crazy version, but I'm gonna just kind of play this. This is something that I kind of worked out a little bit. Yeah. Or just, don't, you want to play with me? You can play with me. So, so this is just kind of something that I kind of worked out. So some of the things that I'm going to be doing is like when I take the, you know, like when I take the main melody, right? Right. What I'm doing is I'm adding a harmony. See that? Just to give it a little bit more color. See that? There's that half diminish, right? Right? And I do this. So that right there is that's the sharp 5, the G7 sharp 5. But I'm playing it against the melody here, just that note. Right? Okay, so you're gonna hear those things. I'm gonna play, let's see, yeah. Okay, so let's give it a shot. All right, here we go. Rudolph. Yeah. Oh wait. So normally you wouldn't say, "Oh wait," like when you forget the chords, but I totally blanked out. So sorry. But yeah. So you know, those are just things that you can add. Again, I think you saw a lot. I was throwing in that, right? You know, that lick on the G7. I threw that in. That was like starting on the 3rd to the 5th, but I came back down, right? And then sorry, I just blanked out on the bridge there. Da, 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 da. So all the chords. Do da, do do da, do do do, do 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 da, do da da, da 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 da. All right, so that's and that's how you just basically take a song, you take the chords, you take the melody, just kind of dissect it and kind of put it all together, and yeah, and just have fun with it. And there's so many different ways that you can approach it, right? And it's just really about using your ear, trying to come up with a good overall vibe, and a good overall feeling that you're trying to convey. And that's kind of how I feel the song, um, it's I know I was changing up the phrase there, instead of Rudolph the red. I know a couple of times I played Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, and just kind of changing it up like that, being playful with it. One of the things that always confuses me in this song is when I start playing the bridge. Sometimes I forget that I'm playing Rudolph and I think I'm playing Frosty the Snowman. Because the songs are very similar, right? So when you go like, then one foggy Christmas Eve, right? Santa came to say, Rudolph with your nose, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Frosty the Snowman. And so it's you gotta just really focus on Rudolph, right? So, but yeah. Yeah, but anyways, we truly just hope you guys had a good time today. This was so much fun, and I don't know. Yeah, Herb, you have anything you want to share, or you have anything else you wanna?
Aw, everybody's so happy.
JakeShimabukuro.com
And masterclass.
and Masterclass also. And
Oh.
tomorrow's Christmas concert.
Where is that stream?
Where's that stream?
It's
your show.
Yeah, yeah. We I have a sorry. No, I have I have a website, Facebook website. It's at Jake Shimabukuro Music, and on that there's all the information for the live stream, and I think this is for Craig and Sarah, this is kind of officially your last presents for the year.
This is it.
Really?
We need a break.
Well, tonight and tomorrow.
Oh, wait, yeah,
it's
tonight.
Heidi and Daniel.
Oh yeah, Heidi and Daniel, they're doing something tonight, so make sure you tune into that. What time is that?
We go on at 5:15.
3:15 today.
3:15 our time.
3:15 Hawaii Standard Time, 5:15 Pacific.
Yeah, and then tomorrow's workshops and stuff.
Yeah, so make sure you tune in. They're awesome. I love Daniel and Heidi. The last time they came out to Hawaii was last year sometime.
Yeah.
I got to hang out with them, right? Have lunch. That was awesome. So, anyways, but yeah, we wish.
Before you go, what is one big overlooked technique that most people just totally glance over without realizing how powerful it is?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. Oh, that's a tough one. One good technique that is often overlooked. Herb said the art of playing with emotion without showing any emotion. He said that the other day, and I told him it's like the Bruce Lee, because Bruce Lee was a huge influence. He was a huge inspiration for me. But Bruce Lee used to he had this thing, right? The art of fighting without fighting. So I told her, he's like the Bruce Lee of the ukulele. The art of playing with feeling without showing any feeling. No, the art of playing. Yeah, wait, the art. The art of feeling without feeling. That's what it is. Oh man.
I've already got a comment. I already mastered that.
Oh, well, this was so much fun, everyone. Thank you so much. I know we went a lot longer than we were supposed to, but we hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope you had a great time. Yeah.
What time is your concert tomorrow? And just name a few people that's on it again.
Okay. Yeah. So the concert starts at 10 o'clock Hawaii Standard Time, so 12 o'clock Pacific. And it was produced at Olelo Studio 1122. They're really great and very fortunate to have some great guests on there. You know, Herb's going to be doing something. We're doing an arrangement of "I'll Remember You" with Asa Young, Pomaikai Lyman, the granddaughter of the great Auntie Genoa Keave. Thunderstorm Artis. He was recently featured on The Voice. He got a 4-chair turn. He's just absolutely amazing. Dave Preston and Rachel A. Dave Preston and I, we toured together, and we just released an album called Trio together with our buddy Nolan Werner, and yeah, 2 legendary musicians. You know, Michael McDonald, who's actually going to be playing some baritone ukulele and singing, and Kenny Loggins will be doing a huh? What time? I thought it starts at 10.
9 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, that's late.
So
Oh.
4 o'clock. Hawaii time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Really? Oh, okay. The concert starts at 4 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. I thought it was 10. Okay. Anyways, so the concert starts at 4.
Today.
Yeah, that was today.
10 o'clock? Yeah, 10 o'clock was today.
Oh,
So bad.
9 p.m. Eastern.
oh, okay. 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So 4 o'clock Hawaii Standard Time.
Hey, what would you do without us?
I know. That's why. Sorry. Okay. But happy holidays to you all. Merry Christmas. Take care, and we hope to see you soon. Yeah. Thank you so much. And big shout out to Craig and Sarah and Cameron, Herbota Jr., and really you guys, I mean, just thank you for all that you do for supporting the ukulele community, for helping me, supporting me as well. And Herb, thank you, man. You guys. All right. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Aloha.